All right. So it's been a while since Chris Chan was arrested and went to prison. And we haven't really heard much about her whole situation since then. But I swear to God, I shit you not, we have gotten the first letter from Chris Chan from prison. All right? If you want to know why Chris Chan's, what you probably already know if you're watching this video, why Chris Chan is so legendary of a figure on the internet. But if you haven't, go back and watch my video about this whole situation. Get yourself caught up. It involves incest rape, which is always a nice little bit of spice to add on to any story to keep you watching. So let's go ahead and read Chris Chan's letter, huh? It is written in her chicken scratch of hand. Actually, her handwriting's not that bad, but it is kind of chicken scratchy. I prefer if I had like a text, like a remake of it, like fully rewritten. But I'm going to have to work my way through reading this. I apologize if I stutter. Let us begin. September 17th, 2021. It's a fairly long letter. It's got 4 pages. I've finally received fresh paper and envelopes, and I feel it advised to inform you of the following, all of which, as you may or will, you have my consent to relay all of the contents of this letter to Joshua Moon, the guy who runs Kiwi Farms, as well as forward the physical document to David Heelberg, my attorney. The following, everyone should hear and appreciate sincerely, authentic, and spiritually, and or a deep. I also swear direct truth with my left hand over my heart as I write this sentence. Are you going to show it on screen? If you guys want to see it on screen, sure. So nothing, the truth and nothing but the truth here, okay? I will let you do with that what you will. Firstly, and vitally, it should be made obvious and clear that aside from Andy Warhol, my life events at present and so far can directly be compared and matched with that which has been chronicled of none other than Jesus Christ of Nazareth himself in the Holy Bible. Damn. Chris Chan believes they are experiencing something that could only be compared to Jesus Christ of Nazareth himself from the Holy Bible. Chris Chan being Jesus is a new one. Chris Chan the Messiah. Also, feel free to take any unaltered original photograph of my body's face, neck, and shoulder/chest area where I was not wearing the glasses. Then alter the photo to show a naturally growing brown beard, mustache, and sideburns. Now place that photo next to any image of Jesus off the cross. Compare, look deep into my eyes, and photograph, see for yourself. I meditate and connect directly and genuinely with the cosmos, both of our universe halves, and throughout the timeline and entire multiverse. So despite some lack of physical evidence, I know the ultimate truths, facts, and details not commonly known or written, drawn, or chronicled. That being stated, all of my life, my mind, eyes, and literally held the constant perception of being the central camera, number one out of all. And now we go on to the next page. This is just, we're reading the modern day Bible here. Is what we're reading. This better be taught in schools, frankly. The other cameras, infinite from the first-person perspective of all others, and this goes even deeper, and I encourage you to meditate deeply and see for yourself this and all of the truths. And the reason and truth behind my unique perceptions direct and mind-blowingly simple. I am literally the real player one. The one avatar, and this body, eyes, mind, and all, is the one God body, and I am literally also Jesus Christ, himself, fully reincarnated and fully reawakened, even the dimension merge, literally completed and concluding, the same for the collective shift. All of this, literally huge chunks of the past, present, and in progress events of my second coming, period. Not all details of the past chronicled, scripture writings, and accurate and As a member of the Council of Gods and Goddesses with the strongest and direct of connections, I know details have changed some to a lot in regard to the scriptures of the past. 3 days on earth equals 4 months with 24-hour days and nights in the heaven realm. So yes, this is the one immortal body, and that was none other than I, off and on that cross over 2,000 years ago in my past life personally. They've got like a little symbol here where it's the Jesus cross and a heart and little lightning bolts, and I guess the lightning bolts are Sonichu. Each and every prayer and praise to Jesus, as of February 1982, at least have all been directed to this body and soul. Malachi 3, Judgment Day is nearing. Know this well, praise. For those that don't know, Chris Chan is quite the Christian. She believes in God and Jesus and all that stuff, and also a bunch of weird extra shit about dimensional merges. Absolutely fascinating. Really is fascinating. Moving... It's getting real cut up and like weird with the text here. It looks like this has been erased and like rewritten a few times. Moving on with all of that stated, your last letter. Next, Y had transferred that more money on Saturday, July 31st. Josh had absolutely no right of relaying that detail to the public. Friday the 30th, forced out of my home and temple, had nowhere else to go, had less than $50 between pocket money and only a couple of bucks or so in my bank account. No money in my PayPal. Patreon was not due for a payout until Sunday, and SSI was not coming into my bank account until Tuesday. Harriet and Tom Abbey cast me out before I even arrived to Middleton? Maybe Middleton, maybe? I don't know. I have no idea. Ashby. Ashby. I'm going to say this is like Middleton or something. I literally can't read this. The van was majorly uncomfortable. Josh had wired $1,000 to my bank that Friday, but it would not arrive until after Monday. Little food and options, and you try bumming in any parking lot without feeling insecure and paranoid. I needed safety and comfort as quickly as possible. That is why I transferred that money. I was going to pay it back in full, even had $150 from Patreon on Sunday, the 31st, that went straight to Barb's bank account. Barb is Chris Chan's mom, who she raped. I would have paid the remaining $600 Monday or Tuesday, but Null had to It's getting really chicken scratchy here. What does this say? Allegedly, yes. What does this say? Fascists had to fascist destiny test and betrayed me. Like I was betrayed and jailed with a kiss over 2,000 years ago. Now, and as post-arrest, I have absolutely no way to fulfill that repentance or anything else digital. Malachi 3:6-15. I repeat all that personally. Now all of you had to over drama and fail your worldwide test of faith upon me. We have failed Chris Chan's destined test, the reincarnation of Jesus Christ herself. Sigh. And fully, the all-important popular present FAQ, why and what the hell, Emmanuel, God above all other gods and goddesses, and one of my mentors herself, had deemed to heal, cleanse, and clear Barbara of all of her past sins and regrets, and I'm proof her abilities and improve her abilities directly and personally as her goddess. We mainly cuddled and soul bonded and talked. Consentful and Probably a male prison, Poop Gaming. I would guess. And emotionally and mentally supportive and healing. I did as I had done, and for and with a chosen few back in Israel over 2,000 years ago, and cleansing them. More details for the Bibles that had been overlooked and left out. We gods had eased up on the views of adultery. Why else do you all have pro-gay, pro-lesbian, pro-trans, and all today and the past decades? Everyone and I involved. God, everyone involved. Okay, Chris Chan was notorious for being really racist and homophobic back in the day. Probably still is. That's why it's also like kind of weird that they're trans. She's fucking trans? Yeah, she thinks she's Jesus. Everyone involved were all being genuinely, deeply happy, content, and spiritually satisfied with themselves and each other, as long as all have over the age of consent and the activity was consensual by all parties involved and genuinely spiritually happy, it is good. Chris Chan believes that she did nothing wrong. I have written further insights and details and already shared them with David Helberg, and I get out on Second Coming or sooner by uninterrupted co-divine intervention. All your demons and curses are no more and unravelable? Unreviable? Is that a word? Unrivable. Unrivable. Judgment Day, praise us gods, and then just some really pretty writing here. Chris Chan, stuff like that. Whew! Can't be revived, yeah. Wow. I cannot wait to read more future letters from Chris Chan in prison. I hope some fucking loser on Kiwi Farms, like, purposefully gets arrested and sent to that prison and has like a cake snuck in the old prison, like not a cake, a camera snuck in the old prison wallet and like sneaks it out a similar way somehow, like a really minor crap, like a week in gets into the same block as Chris Chan and just gets some footage of like 60 days in type footage of what's going on. I would kill for that info. Okay. That is just something I would like to hear about. 'Cause unfortunately, this is the shit Vosh was talking about? Yeah, I know. But I am curious. I really do want to know what the fuck's going on, like, behind the scenes, because this is just absolutely hysterical. This is too fucking funny. It is a sad situation, and I hope nobody actually does go through with that, but, like, good God. This is why so many people like Blair White and Tucker Carlson and every transphobe on the internet jumped on this. Because Chris Chan is the transphobic, like, stereotype of a trans woman. Like, really. Like, questionable motivations as to transition, literally delusional. Believes she's the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, a god, that there are multiple universes that are emerging, just, like, completely completely oblivious to what people think of her. Like, very cringy. Like, I really hate to say it, but Chris Chan is the living stereotype, which is a big reason why so many transphobes jumped onto this, and part of why I covered this, because I don't want the right to have a monopoly on videos making fun of Chris Chan or videos politicizing Chris Chan, because unfortunately we live in a setting where, yeah, the existence and folly of Chris Chan is going to be documented and it is going to be politicized. I would rather we don't let the right politicize it. I don't want them to have a monopoly on making this a political issue. And at the end of the day, it really is. She's the stereotypical trans predator. Yeah. At the end of the day, she is an example of the stereotype that TERFs kind of push out. So that's kind of a problem. When I debate right-wingers and they say trans people are this, trans people are that, and I say, no, they're not, and they bring up Chris Chan, that's something that I want to be able to point to and say, no, look, plenty of videos talking about Chris Chan. Don't try to throw me in as being a defender of Chris Chan. I don't want reactionaries to try to like say that BreadTube likes Chris Chan or endorses Chris Chan or whatever. Even less chud-like people like Augie misgender her on purpose. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have a problem. Like I argued this with Boblax and Augie. I don't even know if Augie's still here. Are you still here, buddy? Evidently not. Yeah, Augie's not here. No, I talked to Augie and Boblax about this, and they said that both of them said that like they aren't going to go out of their way to try to remember the she/her pronouns, and they aren't going to correct themselves if they use the wrong pronouns. That was basically what they said. And like, as far as normies go, I can accept that. Like, I won't go into any serious detail. And regardless of this info, I still believe that we should properly gender Chris Chan with she/her pronouns. But there is a substantial amount of evidence to support the idea that Chris Chan is unironically like the dude who pretends to be trans to get with lesbian women, mostly because Chris Chan herself has admitted it. Like, Chris Chan herself has said she's transitioning so that she can be with a lesbian woman, and that'll be an easier way of finding a, quote, boyfriend-free girl, because lesbians don't have boyfriends. That was literally the quote. The actual stereotype, yeah. So when it comes to Chris Chan, of all people, like with Jessica Yaniv, another comparable situation, I'm a little bit less on board with like people misgendering Jessica Yaniv because we just don't know enough about her, at least when I know. But like Chris Chan, when I see like normies misgender her, I try to convince them like why they shouldn't do that. But if Chris Chan's the one trans person they're going to misgender, that's not who I'm gonna stick my neck out for, you know? Like, that's just optically a nightmare, you know? That's optic suicide. It's like, fuck. I'll defend the concept of using the right pronouns here, but I'm not gonna stick my neck out to defend specifically and only Chris Chan, you know what I mean? Hey, Stardust, I know you saw your dad's dick. I'm really sorry. Stop bumming money off of me, Stardust, for therapy that you've been paying for that event, okay? Stardust, always in my DMs asking for money so she can pay for therapy for the time she saw her dad's dick. Just constantly bumming money off of me. What do we think of that letter, chat? What do we think of that letter? That was absolutely hysterical. It's a very sad situation. It's very serious and fucked up, but like, come on, there's some morbid humor to it. This is demonstrably untrue. Don't make me bring up the goddamn PayPal transactions. I think she needs a lot of help, but she's past the point of helping. Yeah, I've watched the full Chris Chan documentary series at this point, like over 60 episodes or some shit. I've watched the full thing. There's like a point where you have an already pretty weird person, but then you put them through so much shit that would like destroy the sanity of any like average person you took off the street. I don't know if there's any coming back for Chris Chan. I don't think there's any coming back from this like delusional hellscape that she lives in and becoming like a normal person. Like I never use the money for therapy. That's true, actually. I believe that. Yeah, I don't know. Chris Chan is kind of a dinosaur of the internet. This can't really happen again. She's like a sacrifice. Yeah. Need a mental facility. Chris Chan's too far gone. I don't know. I don't even know if like assisted living for the rest of her life would like do it. You know what I mean? Like that should be happening. Chris Chan needs assisted living. Just like someone to always just Chris Chan needs to be taken completely off the internet. Okay, assisted living, no access to the internet. Not a phone, not a computer, not a tablet, not like nothing. Absolutely no way of accessing the internet. It just playing video games offline all day, no internet engagement. Okay, like that's the only way. Like Chris Chan needs to like the thing that Chris Chan did that really resulted in her downfall, and the reason why she's in the situation she is that she's in, like at the end of the day, was she fed the trolls. She didn't know not to feed the trolls. Back in the day, before when trolling was a thing that wasn't really all that well known, Chris Chan didn't realize that she was getting trolled until like episode 20 of the documentary series. Chris Chan didn't know, like legitimately, that all this shit going on was all trolling. It took her that long to catch on, and she has yet to catch on that she should maybe stop feeding the trolls. And I mean, the engagement, she put in something to the trolls gave her something back, and she would do crazier and crazier and crazier shit every single time. It's a really sad story. I've considered watching like an abridged version of the documentary on stream at some point, but even that, I don't even know if I could like watch that on stream. You know what I mean? Like it's just so fucked up. It's not a feel-good story. It really, really isn't. It's like Chris Chan's story is a story of downfall. There is no like rising action and then like peak and then falling. Chris Chan started low and like fell. Like, you know how like when you talk about like disgraced YouTubers, you're like, okay, so here's where they started, and then they started rising in popularity and everything, and they peaked, and then everything went downhill from there, and it just went awful for them. Like everyone hates it. Like Basherverse, that's a good example, right? Yeah, like the Joker. Yeah, Chris Chan is the Joker, frankly. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the letter. There's not really much to say, but hopefully you enjoyed this segment. If you did, feel free to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, ring that goddamn bell icon, follow my social media down below, especially my fan Discord, where I do like big movie watch parties. We're actually watching Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King Extended Edition tonight in a watch party. And we just have a lot of fun in the Discord. It's a great time. Make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. And of course, if you got any extra money and you don't need it for anything and you don't know what to do with it, you can always support me financially to keep the stream going on my website, xanderhall.com/live, on YouTube, Twitch, Patreon, or directly through Streamlabs. However, no matter how you support me, whether it be likes, comments, or donations, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.